Hello, Think Natalia community. Today, I have the honor of speaking with another amazing guest, somebody who turned from a content consumer into a content creator, somebody who changed his whole perception around marketing and building a community on LinkedIn. His name is Kai H. Simmons. He is from Mannheim, Germany, and I'm super excited to have him as a guest on my show today. So Kai, thank you so much for being here today.
Yes, thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to this interview.
Fantastic. So for everybody who sees you for the first time, tell us a little bit more about your story, who you are and what you do.
Mhm. So basically, I started out as a computer programmer, and what I've learned very early is that it's not sufficient to have just some brilliant minds inside of a room who can code computer software and then we'll create a great product. What I found in reality is that despite those people are really great minds, it needs some more elements to basically create great products and to go all the journey from an idea to a great product. And this is something, a field in which I work in, which is called agile or Scrum, have many people heard nowadays, at least in the IT industry, or some also call it new work, some kind of environments where we can bring ourselves to the work environment and have a lot more own responsibility, purpose, and mastery inside of our working environments. And so I founded the Agile Growth Academy together with my wife, Jasmine, and we help people by doing consulting, coaching, and training to learn how to create and operate those environments and also how to become a agile coach or a scrum master, so the leaders who kind of establish those working environments.
Okay. And for everybody who stumbled over the terms of agility and Scrum, but never really put in enough time or effort into understanding these concepts, is that something that every company can work on? Is that something you only offer for a specific niche? Do you need to have a certain company size? Do you do that in German and in English? Tell us a little bit more about your focus.
Yeah. So basically, something like Scrum is a management framework which you can use in all knowledge working areas. So those companies who create products from scratch and who have a huge focus on knowledge work, like computer programming or like creating physical products, and put in this knowledge work, they can benefit from this. And these are companies of all sizes, and we operate with distributed teams, and we speak German, Swiss German, and English actually. So these are mostly here the European environments where we work together with offshore and nearshore and local companies. And yeah, during those times, a lot of people work from home. So we find ourselves in much more situations where we won't have this kind of in-house interactions, though we love those in-house interactions and also travel to training and consulting work normally. So these are the kind of environments and clients we work with most of the time.
And what was your initial challenge? Why did you approach me for LinkedIn marketing consulting?
So we founded our Agile Growth Academy like some months ago. So basically in August last year. So we're kind of a really new company. And as a new company, you face the same struggles all the time. I mean, you have to find new clients, you have to become visible, you have to do some brand work, and you have to also do some positioning work. And this is where we kind of had a look inside of those all those social networks which are there, and there's also of course the option of buying paid ads on the market. And as a new company, we kind of didn't want to invest too much of our private money into buying media. So we actually said, okay, let's work more organically. And on the other hand, I had the kind of mission last year to become more a producer than a consumer. And this was also something where I had the feeling I'm finally ready to share my ideas and my thoughts and the thoughts I discuss with Jasmine all the time when we have a walk here close to the Neckar River. And I found that I want to share this with the world. And so two things came together. On the one hand, LinkedIn was for us the professional B2B platform where we could reach most of the people we wanted to discuss with. And on the other hand, I felt this urge to kind of share stuff with the world and interact with the world. And those two things came together. And this is where basically I found a colleague of mine who did some work on LinkedIn, which I really liked. And he had worked with you in the past. So this is how I came to engage with you and get in contact and start this coaching.
Amazing. And I absolutely loved working with you both because you are like a yin and yang. You have the psychological background, or your wife focuses more on the psychological aspect. You are very, very good in processes in IT and this. And when you two work together, there's just magic that is happening. So you two are officially #couple goals.
Yeah, thanks very much. It's really dynamic to work with Jasmine, and you can also see this in our German-speaking LinkedIn lives all the time. We are once every week, we are live at LinkedIn, and it's really fun to do those interviews with Jasmine and the guest, and it all profits from this dialogue between IT, knowledge working, management, psychology, and everything comes together and has this wonderful glue and wonderful, insightful moments, and it's really a blast to do this together.
Nice. Do you remember your first milestone on LinkedIn? A moment or a situation when you thought, that is so different from what I thought it is, or damn, this really works. Tell us a story, or the first story that comes to mind.
I always wondered how to create those viral things. I mean, it's always crazy if something you create from your desk is seen by a lot of people. And I remember that a new Scrum guide was released. So this is something like the definition of what Scrum is about. So Scrum is kind of a knowledge management framework, which we teach a lot of the time. And when this came out, I simply draw some kind of a mind map with the updates. So this was nothing really fancy to do, but it was valuable for my tribe and the community. And I shared this on LinkedIn, and it kind of went crazy. I mean, 21,000 views, 300 likes, 158 commands. So people like really engage with this stuff. And this was awesome to see that simply those small things which help others are kind of appreciated and are shared and are commended, and we could discuss stuff. And this was really, really great to see that there is some movement which can happen even from your desk.
And for everybody who thinks now, oh, that's not impressive, you didn't go viral with 5 million views. Kai is an agility expert. He focuses on a very specific niche. What he did was industry specific content that was celebrated by his audience. And everybody who's not in this bubble doesn't understand or will not understand a word. And you know what? This is the content that we need to create. Sure, every now and then we can also post something about motivation or inspiration or failures or hacks or whatever. And that might also allow you to tap into an audience of people outside of your industry or bubble. Fine. But Kai and his wife, they don't have the expectation or the goal to become the next Tony Robbins, Oprah Winfrey, Gary Vaynerchuk, you name them, because their products and services are not something for the masses. Sure, every now and then, if a post gets a lot of likes and something general, cool, it helps you grow your audience and everything. But if your audience consists out of people who will not buy your stuff anyway, this is useless. And this is what I love about you guys, that you understood that and totally changed your mindset towards thinking out of this perspective.
Yeah, so we really changed into a niche perspective, and it's totally sufficient if agile people know what we're about and what we do, and those who are interested in becoming more agile, this is also sufficient. So yeah, maybe we won't become the next Tony Robbins, and what would Jasmine be? I have to ask her. I don't know what her public figure is, but and that's okay. I mean, we just went had a walk in Mannheim, and a friend of us had joined us, and she's really famous, I would say, right now. So she has, I don't know, like over 500,000 followers. I don't know. No, I calculated it, and it's nearly every 180th German would know her or something like that. I don't know.
Okay.
And we went in a coffee, and the guy behind the bar said, "Oh, I'm a big fan of you." And I mean, this is some kind of a fame which is maybe for the ego appealing, but does it pay off the bills? So I mean, it depends on your goal, right? So we want to
Exactly.
work with the people who are into what we offer, and we want to work with people who care about what we offer. And this
Yes.
is a specific niche thing, basically. Yeah.
Absolutely. And do you remember the feeling or bodily sensations that you went through when you had to publish your first video or your first LinkedIn live? Because I think the process that you went through is quite entertaining, especially looking at it now, because you're not so emotionally connected to it anymore, and you can also laugh about it. So please share your journey of your first LinkedIn video or your first LinkedIn live.
Yeah. So I did a German language post actually on my studio setup, which is like totally crazy. If you would see the stuff which is here all around, I've got multiple cameras and lights and everything, and microphone and on and on and on. And basically, I bought all of this stuff because I was so afraid of going live or showing myself, and I expected myself to be everything being perfect and to make no mistakes at all, and so on and so on. And bought a how that is called, teleprompter, and I've got every stuff you can buy.
Everything. It's like a professional
Everything.
studio.
So to cover up my fear, and basically I recognized after doing this for a while, I can just make a LinkedIn live from my smartphone. If I got the earbuds with me, that's fine. If I not, then I'll do them without. People will hear the wind in the background, and maybe I'll search for some shelter so that it's not too loud. And it also works. I mean, this is all bogus. But it helped me to cover my fear, and this is something which maybe was a bit expensive to do this way. I did it, but I know myself. I've did this as a hobby musician also, so I bought all of the great microphones and gear just to sound awesome. And then, yeah, I mean, it's not needed. It's just a great musician can perform with a guitar in his hand, and that's it, right? So
Exactly. What an insight. And thanks so much for openly talking about it, because the fear of the first life, of being judged, of a hater, of whatever. I think a lot of people, they use technology as an excuse or as a hurdle that they put in there. And unless I have the perfect light and the perfect sound and the perfect background, and unless I don't use any ums and ahs, and unless I don't have any pimple on my forehead yet, and unless the sun just literally shines from the specific angle, and then only then I'm going to create content. So thanks for overcoming all of that and creating it. I mean, people like it. People love your show. You are great in, I mean, you always have an expert in there. You discuss, again, very industry specific topics. You found a phenomenal way how to repurpose that content, which I'm very, very proud of. I love how you create one LinkedIn live and then create a motivational poster out of that, or a, what is it, like an audio waveform of it there. It's
yeah,
just
we should.
amazing how you use your time and energy and find different ways of using the same thing but talking about it from all sorts of different angles. So kudos to you.
Thank you very much. Yeah. So basically, to go through this fear of sharing publicly stuff was something where this tribe was really helpful, because I feel, I mean, we all are wired to be included in a tribe. No one of us, I think even the brain processes physical pain in the same area as it processes
Yeah.
social, what do you call it? Social
Like if
exclusion.
you're
And
kicked out of the group, exactly.
yeah, and
Yeah.
so this is like a very old fear, which was very helpful when we lived in smaller tribes. And you have to go through this fear, and a tribe who knows this fear is really helpful to do the inner work. And I must say, it's not always fun to share stuff publicly, because you will be vulnerable, you will be attacked. It's not a question if, it's a question when. And then it's about how you can deal with your own pain, which you feel when you have the situation. And then an uplifting tribe is just worth all the money you can invest, because it kind of lifts you up and helps you to stand up at the next day and start creating again. And I mean, this is what it's all about, to share message, to engage with people, and to learn as a tribe and as a collective on how to create better working environments, at least for us.
That brings me to the topic of the tribe. Within the tribe, did you get to know new like-minded people? Are there some friendships or collaborations that came out of it? If you benefited in any way from the tribe, it would be amazing if you could share that, especially for people who maybe never worked in such a group or such a perspective, who are convinced that one-on-one coaching or consulting is the best method ever.
Yeah. So yeah, of course, there's power in tribes, and I've already mentioned that I kind of changed my perspective from being a consumer to a producer. So before, I would maybe watch Netflix instead of creating a LinkedIn Live. I would listen to audiobooks instead of doing podcasts. I would read books instead of writing a book, which we just did. So the tribe has this notion of people who wake up and create stuff. And they also changed their minds into becoming creators and sharing with the world what their mission is about. And this was greatly helpful to have the spirit, and also to kick each other's butts to basically get stuff shipped. And I had an Apple Watch face basically which said fuck it, ship it. So which kind of encouraged me to just push stuff out of the door and get things going despite my inner critics. And I mean, this is everything. We all know this voice inside of us that says you're not good enough, you can't handle what's coming back, or whatever. You got all those kind of voices inside your head, and you have to learn that others have these voices too, and that you can overcome and constructively work with inner voices, so that you have a more fulfilling and more satisfying job, and you can deliver on your mission. And this was something where the tribe was particularly helpful. Despite, what I also liked is, if others asked some questions, they would raise topics which I didn't even think about. So they would come up with totally strange questions where I would ask myself, so what do you have to think in your mind to actually have this question? And that brought me to another idea, and then I could go with this idea. And so I learned by the differences basically inside of this tribe. And I think there's this old saying which says, right, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far and spread wide, then go with the tribe and go with others. And this is something which you can feel inside of a tribe, right?
Absolutely. Beautiful. Thanks for sharing that. Before I forget it, there's also a very cute story around one of your kids who helped you with your LinkedIn content. If you don't mind, please share it as well.
Yeah, so of course the kids, and the older one, she's homeschooled right now, and she has a lot of contact with our work. So when we are live on LinkedIn Friday, at every Friday, she will we'll tell her, please stay outside and be silent, because we're just live on the internet now. And so she knows a lot about our work, and I regularly tell her about what we are doing here. And then she kind of doodled some Scrum Master figure on a flip chart, because she also knows what Scrum is about, at least on a
from a broader perspective.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she knows about that. And then she draws this figure on a flip chart, and I just photographed it and said, oh, this is perfect for my next LinkedIn post. And then I explained to her what LinkedIn is about. And then after some weeks, so I posted this, and people really liked this post. And then she came back after a week or two and said to me, Daddy, what has happened with my picture in the internet? And I said, it has 2,873 views. And she's like, how much is this, Daddy? And I said, okay, think about the people next to this environment here where we live, and then put them on a football field, and then you might have a kind of relation on how many people this is. And she said, wow, this is so many. I'll draw another picture then. And yeah, she knew that we kind of just ramped up our Scrum classes, and that we needed some more participants. And she took a stamp out of my desk and basically had a picture and created some artwork, I would say, which was some kind of advertisement for our courses. And this was really fun, because she said, please put this on LinkedIn so that people will come and join your seminars.
This is cute. Cuteness overload. Very awesome. Thanks for sharing that story as well. What is one of your biggest achievements or transformations on LinkedIn so far? I mean, did you generate any leads? Did you get any kind of customers through your work on LinkedIn? Tell us a little or share a little bit more about that as well, please.
Yeah. So basically, when we founded this company, I tried to see this through axis. So one aspect would be how much awareness people spend on our company. The second thing is how much engagement is happening. And the third thing is how much conversion happens. So with how many people can we actually closely work together? And though I don't like this marketing terminology, I think it's helpful to think in this kind of aspects. And what we reached about the awareness, I mean, we had 164,000 views on the material I created here from my desk, which is
Wow.
I think it's such a multiplicator, which is just awesome.
Yeah.
And we had like 64,000 minutes of watch time on our LinkedIn live. So there's a lot of and people
Whoa.
commenting and being live online and adding questions to it and having a dialogue with us. So there's some great engagement going on. And
Yeah.
people know us for this work right now, and we have great
Perfect.
interview guests, and it keeps on going. And this is also great. And to speak about this conversion aspect, I'll facilitate a session in I think in 1 hour for my current customer, and this is a customer where we do an agile transition with a lot of people, and Jasmine and I are engaged in this kind of coaching gig there, and this is also a client which we have from LinkedIn, so it's really great. I
Nice.
mean, it's a whole deal, right?
Cool. Yeah, for me, I mean, I'm very passionate about helping people turning from consumers into creators. And it's very important for me that you also make money because this is not a hobby. This is something, it's a business. And a business without leads, without making money is like, yeah. So I'm very happy to see that you got a positive benefit that you grew in so many areas of your business and your personal brand. So that's amazing. What else do I want to know? Who should connect with you of LinkedIn? Any kind of preferences?
Yeah, so people who basically are interested in agile, new work, Scrum, those things, and want to start some initiatives inside of their own company, who want to improve the initiatives which already are happening, and people who want to become great Scrum Masters and great agile coaches are people we're working with intensively. So we work in English, we work in German. Our classes are offered in German, our books are in German, so we kind of a bit localize the content we create, I must say. But we're super happy to work with your environment also if you're an English speaker. So if you're into agile or curious about that, then you're totally right about approaching us.
Okay. And you also said you are working on a book. The book comes out soon. So if somebody speaks German, where can they find the book? Can they pre-order it somewhere?
Yeah, so this is basically a book on how you as an agile coach can improve your Scrum training skills, how you can deliver the message of the Scrum framework to others in a really, really great way. And we had some great mentors where we could learn this, and we all have written this down in the first book on the German market, I would say. I have not seen or found any books who kind of have this specific niche topic, which we really went deep into. So
Nice.
also some great thing to learn about new skills for you. And if you want to find this book, you can just go to the bookstore, order it on your preferred platform, and you can search for Kai H. Simmons, which is my name, or just for Scrum training. And then you will find this book. And yeah, it's in German, and I hope, no, I know you will enjoy this book.
Nice. Alrighty. Is there anything else that we forgot talking about? Anything else that is close to your heart? Anything else you want to mention? And if not, then maybe share an advice for people who know they should go out there and create content on marketing, yeah. Content on LinkedIn and do something with their organic marketing, but for some reason are still hesitant.
Yeah. So we're all about creating new work environments where people can be themselves and have a lot of own responsibility and fulfillment in their working environments. And to do this work without letting the world know is a bit like waving in the dark, right? You know what you're doing, but others can't see it. And your coaching really helped us to start to have a flashlight in our hands or raise the brightness of our surrounding to basically people see what we're doing. And this is really, really helpful. And I totally enjoyed the kindful, brutal honesty you had.
There's a German in me.
to see where the blind spots are and the limitations, and this really helped to do this kind of transition to become the person that I needed to become to actually deliver on these things. And this was really helpful, and I'm really glad that you supported us in that. So I can totally recommend to get in touch with you and do the inner work together with a tribe which is supporting this kind of transition if you want to increase your LinkedIn marketing skills and get stuff done.
Fantastic. Once again, thank you so much for your time, your trust, for doing the inner work, for overcoming or for jumping over all of these hurdles. And I wish you all the best on the next steps, especially for the book. I'm super curious about how the market, how people will receive it, perceive it, what they will say about it. And this is just one step of many, many, many other things that you're going to create and get out there. I know a little bit more than the majority of people who listened here today. So yeah, again, all the best. I look forward to meeting you and your partner in the very near future in person as well. Would be fantastic if, when I will be in Germany next time, hopefully, or if you ever decide to come to the UAE. And until then, again, fingers crossed, all the best, and thank you for everything.
Thanks for having me. Bye-bye, guys.
So for everybody who watched this today and says, you know what? Yeah, let me get my LinkedIn marketing, my organic marketing to the next level. And you know what? Having somebody like a coach or a mentor would be a good idea. Why don't you apply to work with us? How do you do that? You go to coachingwithnatalia.com, fill out a very short form, pick a slot in my calendar. Then one of my team members is going to get back to you, see if there's a good fit, because we have so many people who apply on a daily basis. We want to make sure that we really only work with those who have the right mindset, who are willing to invest the time, the love, the money, the creativity into their LinkedIn work. So if that is the case, you and I will be having a free strategy call in which we then talk about where you are right now, where you want to go with your personal brand and business. And then based on that, we build a strategy and we will get you from A to B or C or wherever you want to end. If that sounds good, once again, apply on coachingwithnatalia.com. I thank you for your time and attention, and we talk very, very soon.